I've been seeing the new character trailers for Nightreign, and I can't be the only one seeing the truth here. This game looks terrible, and anybody actually excited for this game to release has to be mental. Normal Elden Ring itself is just FromSoft making Skyrim light, but without all the charm and craftsmanship that BGS puts into their video games. So with the release of Nightreign, it's just more FromSoft with the added twist of them also chasing trends and copying other gaming studio ideas poorly. Like how they're copying the hero system that Overwatch popularized, how they are copying the Fortnite's perfected BR formula, and lastly, how they are copying BGS with how they're using procedural generation in Nightreign, making it clear that they've been influenced by Starfield's amazing use of procedural generation with their planets. With all that said, there are other reasons why the game looks terrible past FromSoft's obvious trend chasing, so let's get into it. The first reason Nightreign looks terrible is because the combat is atrocious, and Soul games in general have no story. But first, let's talk about the combat. The combat in pretty much every modern Souls game past Dark Souls 2 is just a rhythm game, and it's not even a good one at that. All you have to do to basically win the game is constantly spam dodge and wait for your turn to attack. It's like that in Elden Ring, it's like that in Dark Souls 3, and from the trailers I've seen, it's going to be like that in Nightreign 2. I don't really see what you guys find fun in that. All you're doing is just spamming. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys, it's really easy to spam buttons and win in Dark Souls 3/Elden Ring. It takes no skill. I guess that's why Elden Ring was partially so popular, is because it takes no skill to beat the game. All you have to do to win in Elden Ring is just to mash buttons like you're playing a fighting game in the arcade. I'd also like to say that it's amazing to me on my last Elden Ring bad video that a lot of people were crap talking Skyrim, because let's be honest here. Skyrim does combat way better. The actual sword plays better, the shielding, the blocks better, the magic is 10 times better. I don't think it's too crazy to say that From Software copies Bethesda Game Studios. They're copying what's successful, and I'm one of the few people that knows that it's just Skyrim light. I have literally played FromSoft games and Bethesda Game Studio games, and I can say with certainty, From Software just makes light versions of what Bethesda does. FromSoft games have no story, have terrible combat, and the worlds really aren't that great. I mean, yeah, there's lore, but the lore is half-baked at best. It's all up to interpretation, which is just a lazy way of writing an incomplete story. And the main stories, if you're comparing Elden Ring to Skyrim, is literally night and day. Skyrim is a great adventure where you stop Alduin and his dragons from taking over Tamriel. But in Elden Ring, it's literally just go get the MacGuffins, fight bosses. That's the story. There's nothing to it. It's very dry, and let's be honest here, it's because FromSoft can't make good stories. They're up to interpretation is just a lazy way of making half-baked stories and having people on YouTube tell you what it's about, because let's be honest here, no one's gonna read the item description. So it's not going to surprise me in Nightreign when the story is just as bad as Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3 or pretty much any other FromSoft game that they've ever made, because that formula is very successful because people like interpreting their own story. And it's just a lazy way of doing it, in my opinion. And to the people that enjoy interpreting their own story in a video game, I have a suggestion that you can do that is way better for you than playing bad video games. Just write your own story. You don't need the medium of a video game. You can just get some pencil and paper. You don't need to give FromSoft credit for making a half-baked game. The next reason Nightreign looks and will be terrible is because of the lack of accessibility options that FromSoft always excludes from their video games. Their accessibility options are terrible. Why don't they add an easy mode into the game? It's not like the combat's any good to begin with, you just spam roll. There's no real difficulty challenge here. This isn't Ninja Gaiden, guys. This isn't like a hardcore game that's just impossible to beat. And I'll tell you why they don't put an easy mode in their game. And that's because they want to have those video game elitists feel superior about beating a game that honestly you could just easily cheese or have other people beat for you. The next accessibility option that I do not understand that Nightreign will most likely not come out with, and I don't understand why they don't, is a pause button. Now I get it, when you're playing online multiplayer, you can't pause. But you should be able to have a pause button in a single player video game, especially when it has an offline mode. And I know you can pause in Elden Ring, But come on guys, just put a pause button. It's really simple. You shouldn't have to go through extra steps just to pause a video game. Pretty much every other video game on the planet that has an offline single player mode has a pause button in it, so I don't understand why From Software games don't have a pause button. And you can pause an Elden Ring, you just have to go through a bunch of steps. And you know what other game that even FromSoft made that has a pause button? Sekiro. So I don't know why Nightreign isn't going to have a pause button for the offline single players. The next accessibility thing that Nightreign lacks that I want to talk about is the terrible menu design of the game. I do not understand why From Software has never simplified their inventory menus, their character menus, and all that. They are very complicated, and of course I can handle it, I'm pretty smart, but the average idiot, you guys, cannot handle that type of thing. It probably takes you forever. You probably had to look up a guide on how to use the menus. So if From Software wants to actually stay relevant in the future, they should probably fix the menus because they're terrible right now. Stepping away from accessibility, because I do think I hit the 3 big ones. The third reason Nightreign looks terrible is because the series hit its peak back in Dark Souls 2, which is very funny because most of you people hate the game, but let's be honest here, Dark Souls 2 is the best Souls game they ever made. There's an actual story, there's actual characters and character arcs, the level design was good, and everything that looks new in Elden Ring, you could actually do it in Dark Souls 2, like dual-wielding weapons. And Dark Souls 2 has a lot of things that Elden Ring doesn't, like bonfire aesthetics, like a proper New Game Plus with different enemy placement, bosses acting differently from their original playthrough counterparts. Dark Souls 2 is literally just an improved version of Elden Ring, so in a way it's like Elden Ring is Dark Souls 2 light. So it's really weird to see Elden Ring be Skyrim light and Dark Souls 2 light. It's just a weird combination that just doesn't go anywhere. That's partially part of the reason why it got so popular, is because people just like slop. That's why I call Elden Ring From Slop, and the asset flip of Elden Ring Nightreign is going to be even more of that. Alrighty, this is the end of the video. Make sure to put your agreements to my video in the comment section below. Make sure to also like and subscribe. You're welcome I made this video, guys, and...
I'm sorry, sir. It's time for you to leave.